What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Nice to see you guys in here. I missed you guys. Did we stream last Friday? I think we did. Hold on, let me turn my music down. Super excited to see you guys. I had to, that music that I'm playing right now, that is one of my favorite artists, Scold. I did like a talk up, a history of Tim Scold, and going 30 years back to when he was in Shotgun Messiah, and then that band was only around for like 3 albums. They broke up in like 92, 93, I think 93, yeah, 93, and they made 3 very different albums, and the guy is still going to this day. I think he like self-produces all. I don't say produces, but as far as like funding and all that stuff goes, studio, I think he does all his own stuff. I'm not making any sense, but let's just say he's roughing it, and he's still doing what he loves, and he's not making that Beyonce money. Okay, but he's still got like a loyal fan base. I've been a fan of Scold for 30 years, pretty much ever since I saw Shotgun Messiah. That was it. I hope to God you guys can hear me. Man, how is everybody doing? Now, guys, do I look a little bit clearer? Just a little bit clearer, because I can't do anything about the tan, all right? I live in Florida. I think I'll forever be way too tan. But, or red? Do I look kind of red? But, yeah, I got this just spur of the moment, like a few days ago. I was like, you know what? I was watching one of my like DDLive clips, and I was like, I could do better than that with my my video quality. And I had like my previous one was like 720p, and when you compress that down because you're putting it in Adobe Premiere, and it just compresses it, and so it doesn't look as crystal clear. And it didn't really look crystal clear in the first place because it was 720p. But guys, does it look clearer to you now? I think it looks clear. You can definitely, and the focus looks good. Like I tried this out on my Blue Beetle review. I was just, I don't know about you guys, but when I get new like technology, new gadgets, new anything, I'm like antsy. I got to try it out like immediately, right? So thank you so much, Polly. That's very, very sweet. You're hot too. Now, I can't do anything about the red though. Like I could adjust. I'm literally like, if you saw me in person, I'm literally this red. Okay. I always look this way. That's the Indian in me, I guess, but there's not much I can do about it. And I did this picture with Delilah recently. And I should have had it up here for you guys. Actually, you can see it. Hold on, I'll show you guys. And you'll see how red I am compared to her, because she's like white. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Pull it up. Here we go. Here we go. And can you guys see that? Yeah. Yeah, look how red I am, and look how white Delilah is. Okay? Hey, this camera works pretty good, right? Like it makes it out pretty good, sort of. It's a lot better than my last camera, but yeah, man. But how are you guys doing? I've missed you guys, even though I think it's only been a week. But this is, guys, we're getting close to DDLive 100. We're almost at 100. Which is crazy. I can't believe it. I still remember DDLive number one. And, I had done quite a few live streams way before number 1, but I thought, you know what? I did like this whole group thing for a long time, and I rarely ever streamed by myself. And I thought, you know what? I could do like a one-man show, right? And I'll have guests on from time to time, which I have in the past. But it'll be pretty much just my show, right? I guess that's the ego kicking in. I don't know, but the nice thing about doing your own show is you have only you to answer to, and you can talk about whatever you want. You can make a whole list of talking points, and it's just pretty much your own show. you know? And I think, you know, and like I've had guests on before, when you have guests on, sometimes you can't like touch on all the topics you want to as in depth as you want to. Like say my Hollow Stream, when I was doing Hollow Stream, which we still, I'm planning on doing another one of those just to kind of recap the whole thing. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be pursuing, reaching out to the guys. But if you remember, when I did those Hollow Streams, I would always run out of time. You know, 2 hours in, I'm like, damn, I could still literally talk for another 4 hours. So I guess that's kind of the nice thing about having my own little show. Guys, look at the frost. You see the frost on that monster? Look how clear that, I like this camera, guys. Look how clear that is. Almost fell off my chair. But I put it in the freezer like an hour ago because a frosty monster, oh my God, it's really nice. Let me say my hellos. Destiny's sleepy. Destiny, I'm gonna put you to sleep, all right? You'll be dead asleep by like 20 minutes into this stream. Hopefully not, okay? Daniel Shoemaker, Make a Cat, Amber Hill, Born Slippy, Jason, what's up, brother? Tom Ungren, Vinny, Word Channel, I saw him in there earlier at the wee hours. Dude, Adrian, Deadhead, Ice Cold One, Ashley, how are you doing? David Thorson. The Dia Dream, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Yes. Nuclear Fusion. There we go. I actually got kind of a packed show for you guys. And I you know what? I know for the last few shows I haven't had funnies. So I'm going to have funnies for you guys tonight. And as a matter of fact, we're going to start off with some funnies, you know? Now, I'll take Destiny's cue because she told me maybe you should do like part of your funnies first, and then you don't want to overload them with funnies. And I think Destiny's right, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna give you like maybe half of the funnies. Okay, we're gonna go halfway in. I did not say that. I did not. Okay, yeah, here we go. You know what? I got some. First off, I'm gonna start you off with a funny video. Okay, a funny video. Let me see if I can do this right. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, give me a chance. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. I want to feel the heat with somebody. You probably already heard a little bit of it, but I want to hear it too. Hold on. All right, let me go over here. Yeah, and. What did I do? Topical? Did I do topical or did I do... No, I didn't. It'd be under here. Yeah. And then... It'll be worth it. I promise, guys, okay? It'll be worth it. Hold on. There we go. I would dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, dance with somebody. Can you feel the love? I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. One more time with feeling, everybody. Let's go. Oh, dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. There you go. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Isn't that great? Was that like everything you needed right now? Oh my God. Have you guys seen these Arnold, you go down your YouTube rabbit hole. And shorts are just massive these days, right? We always love to click on those little bite-sized shorts, right? And there's a whole run of these Arnold deepfake shorts. And I've seen some Stallone ones too, but Arnold, man, he rules that roost of the deepfakes. Just because there's only one Arnold, He's got that voice, he's got the face. He's just larger than life, right? So, yeah. Let's do some more funnies, all right? Let's do some more funnies while we're on a roll, right? We're on a roll. This is something we're going to cover. We'll come back to this, all right? Because I found this really interesting. You guys like theories? Just like a what-if type theory? we're gonna explore this one a little bit, and it'll have a little bit of video too. But you know what? Let's do some a couple funnies first. Let's go a couple funnies first. All right. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I try to keep up with current events, right? Richmond, north of Richmond. This thing has been, I guess, blowing up YouTube lately. I don't know how many million views he's got right now. Very talented singer. But it was just a matter of time before the memes started coming out. And, you know, that the gas pump, it fits right in, right? I mean, everything he's saying in the song, it definitely hits home. Everything's going up in price, you know? And it's like like, guys, tell me something. All you working folk out there, are your jobs kind of matching you with the inflation, right? Are you getting the raises to correspond with the inflation? I'm not complaining. My job pays me pretty well at my maintenance job. It pays me pretty decent, so I'm not complaining yet. But yeah, it's tough out there. All right, guys, it's really tough out there. I know that, and you gotta stay strong. You gotta be strategic. You got to count your pennies sometimes. Yeah, what's a raise, right? So it's tough out there, guys, right? And they're not matching the rate of inflation, because I don't know about you guys, but when I go through like the drive-through, like if I go through like the McDonald's drive-through, like, guys, tell me, which drive-through do you go through the most on a given week? Or let's say 2 weeks. Some of you might never go through a drive-through, all right? So I'm just curious, though, if in a given month, if you had to count how many times you went through a certain drive-through, which establishment would it be, okay? It might be, so Destiny says Taco Bell or Starbucks, right? Now, I guarantee Starbucks, whew, that's way too rich for my blood, Destiny. That's some expensive drinking stuff, okay? But funny enough, you can get like the pup cup. If you got a dog, those are free, which is just a little cup of like whipped cream. But yeah, little pup cups. Yeah, those are free. McDonald's and Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, and yeah, I would say Chick-fil-A and McDonald's are the two that I probably go through the most. And I do try. I've been trying to, save money. And like the other day, I went to the grocery store and I bought like a loaf of bread. I bought some turkey and some cheese. And I got some peanut butter. Guys, do you like the goober grape? Well, I think it's just like a visual thing too. I like the mix of you see the purple and the peanut butter, and it just looks so pretty. The goober grape. And so that's what I did. I bought the goober grape with some bread and some barbecue Fritos. It makes for a tasty lunch. It really does. So I'm trying, guys. All right, I'm trying. Jesus. Oh, man, that's delicious. You know, it's been so damn hot. Guys, what's the current temperature? Is it starting to cool down for you guys a little bit? Because it's starting to cool down a little bit. And the reason I can tell that is because the breeze. We're getting a bit of a breeze, a little bit more of a breeze down here, which is nice. But, damn, Scott, where are you at, man? Are you in Arizona? Damn. 116? Take me to your leader. Damn. Where are you at? Take me. 116. We were in the hundreds probably a couple weeks ago. Chris, what's up, Fluff? How you doing, brother? But 97, but it feels like 109. Holy shit, Destiny. Damn. Is it still that hot out there, folks? Wow, I thought it was starting to kind of come down just a little bit. Maybe because we are getting into like September's coming soon, spooky season. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready. I'm ready and willing for fall. Okay, I'm ready for that nice fall weather. Chris says 100 yesterday there. Damn, I thought a lot of you guys were going to be saying, and some of you guys are like kind of far up north there, right, guys? Is this a southern show? Damn. Is my voice cracking? It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, next funny. Here we go. Next funny. All right. This one's called Every Sydney Killer. Okay? Every Sydney Killer. Right? You know I'm going to have some Scream stuff in here. Okay? Every killer to Sydney at some point during a Scream movie. Her mother was a slut too. Is that the reason everyone wants to kill Sydney? Just because her mother's a slut? You know how many people would have a vendetta on their head? Okay, I went too far. All right. Her mother was a slut. That's like soap opera stuff, right, guys? Is Scream a soap opera? Would you consider Scream a soap opera? Sydney didn't even have anything to do with it. I don't get that. Like, the whole thing was over Sydney's mother. She was a slut. What was that line that Freddie said to Kirsten? Her mother comes in and where's the fucking bourbon? I just watched Dream Wars again. Like, was it last week? Or it might have been the week before, but man, Freddie is on point in Dream Warriors. You know, he's funny, but he's not too far. But damn, he's funny. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Man, I've missed doing the funnies. Have you guys missed the funnies? They're always a good time, right? Okay. Now, this one's not really funny, but I dug up this old picture. This is a 10-year-old picture of yours truly. And tell me, you know what? You tell me what house am I standing in front of? Okay, you ready? Boom. Here we go. That is 2013. That is no beard. And I'm standing in front of a house. Can any of you tell me what house that is? All right? It's a quiz. I love doing a quiz with you guys. And it's always fun, right? You tell me. I'll give you a hint. I grew up an hour away from that house. Tosin gets it. That is not Graceland. That is Elvis's birthplace. Just to give you the scale. Look how small that place was. And it's a shotgun house, you know, where you could, like, the door is pretty much the same location all the way through the house. And you could literally run through the house. That is what a shotgun house is. And yeah, that's his house. They have like a little gift shop pretty much to the left of me, maybe about 100 feet. There's a nice gift shop. The gift shop's bigger than the house itself. But it's a small little establishment. It's nothing like what Graceland is, you know? And I kind of prefer that. It's just smaller. It's nice. It's quaint. You can see there's nobody around me, you know? When I went there that day, there was just like, I think I was the only one there. It was probably a Tuesday or something like that, but yeah. So my dad is a big, massive Elvis fan, all right? So growing up, we used to go to Graceland. Let's just say I've probably been to Graceland like 5 times. And that was all when I was like a teenager and when I was a kid, right? So, and yeah, I love Elvis. I love Elvis. Like, I have one Elvis CD. So that could tell you like your barometer of how big of an Elvis fan I am. I have Elvis's like Christmas classics. Okay. But my dad, like, he's the bigger Elvis fan. But Elvis was probably the best looking man that ever lived, all right? Probably one of the best looking men that ever lived, all right? All right, next one. This is cat greeting. Cat greeting. When the human awakes in the morning. Guys, how many of you have a cat, all right? Let me know if you have a cat. Cat owner? Let me know, okay? When the human awakes in the morning, it is of utmost importance to greet them, said the cat. Yes, Todd. How do we greet them? Why does somebody name their cat Todd? Or is that the cat, like that's a group of cats, there's no people there. So how did the cat get the name Todd? Do cats not go by their actual human names? Do they have their own internal names? I'm thinking way too hard on this. How do we greet them? Excellent question. With our buttholes. And that's true. That's nothing like funny there. That's the actual truth. Anytime a cat greets you in the morning, it will be with that cat's butthole. All right? 95% of the time, yeah. You're either going to get the butthole or you're going to get their freaking sandpaper tongue on your forehead. That's what I usually get. Either one of those two things. Funny enough, I did own a cat once when back when I first got married, back in the early 90s, 92, 93, I had a cat, and the cat's name was Shotgun. So, funny enough, to tie it back to the Elvis story with the shotgun house, right? So, yeah. All right. Okay, next one. I wanted to play this for you, but I got scared that the thing would be taken down. But, guys, I just did... what did I call it? Not like scary scenes in non-horror movies, horrifying scenes in non-horror movies, and Casino was on the list. Remember the bat beat down at the end of the movie? That definitely made the list. But man, Casino. By the way, guys, Casino, one of the greatest freaking movies ever made. It really is. Like, I could throw in Casino any old time, and it's a 3-hour movie, but boy, does it just. It flies by because it's so damn entertaining and brutal. And if you haven't seen Casino, Robert De Niro, the true story. Back in the 60s, he was the head of this casino, and he was a mafia boss. Not a boss, but he was in the mob. And so the story was they sent a mob guy to Vegas to head up, to manage a casino, because he was like this expert gambler, and he could really spot when somebody's cheating. So that kind of sets up what that scene is there. He caught this guy cheating, because they got cameras everywhere in the casino. And so then they bring the guy back, and they said, you got two options. You can take your winnings, but you don't take your hand. Or you can take your hand and you can get the fuck out of here. All right? And that's not what that guy had. That wasn't his choice. That was his partner's choice. And his partner said, I will gladly leave. Thank you very much. So he left his buddy behind. But his buddy, he didn't get a choice. And in the scene, the dude gets his hand whacked with a hammer multiple times. And woof, it's brutal. It's brutal. And man, what a movie. What a freaking movie Casino is. All right, so there you go, guys. If I could recommend a movie to you, definitely Casino. Damn. Chris says, guys, Chris brings up a good question because, damn, Chris, I go back and forth. It's like if I just watch Goodfellas, then I'll say, okay, Goodfellas is the better movie. And then I'll watch Casino. And the opposite will happen. They're both like creme de la creme. Is that the right way? Creme de la creme. They're both like perfection. So it's hard for me to say. Tossing a coin, maybe Casino. It's really close. They're both so goddamn perfect. Oh my God. They're so beautiful. Yeah. What a movie. What a movie. Okay. Next one. We'll do a couple more. Okay. And then we'll do the rest of them later. All right. This is called Almost 10 People. We're going to get a little dark. Okay, guys? This one gets a little dark, but they're just jokes. They're not going to hurt anybody. Okay. I went from losing no one this is a tweet. I went from losing no one my whole life to almost 10 people within a year. I don't know how much more I can take. And then somebody says, real ones stay and the fake ones leave. Only thing you got to remember. And he says, they're fucking dead, dumbass. Are we dark? That's dark. It's a little dark. Okay, I do apologize. But a situational awareness, maybe that's what that was. Yeah. Yeah, Sebastian. Joe Pesci steals the freaking show as Nicky. Wow. All right. Trip. Okay, here's a question for you guys, okay? Question for you guys. All right. I need your answers. I need everybody to grab their number 2 pencils. Pay attention. Here we go. All right. And let me open my monster. If an alien offered you a 1-week trip across the universe and back, with the catch being 15 years passes on Earth, would you accept or reject the offer? I guess this is kind of your Interstellar scenario, right? If you've seen Interstellar, it's sort of like that. Because in Interstellar, they go into space and I think they're going like through dimensions and all that stuff. And to them, I think it's like every hour is 7 years on Earth that passes. Every hour is 7 years on Earth that passes. All right. But Yeah. So if you could, now, some people like, to me, space could be terrifying. Like, why would I even want to risk that? And then you got to come back and 15 years have passed. So I would probably, like Rosalia there, I'd probably reject the offer. I think I would just take my chances with what's going on right now. And I know the world right now is kind of nasty and ugly, okay? But I think I'd still take my chances on right now, all right? While we're doing this, let's see, reject would be awesome, to be honest, but too many folks won't like that. Reject, no, that's not a journey I need to take. Bring it. Megacat says, I'll go by myself. Why not? Yeah, if I don't age. Yeah, and that's kind of nice. Amber brings up a good point. You don't age 15 years, you know? So you get to, but really does it matter? Because it's not like you get to live 15 years and be locked in at a certain age, you know? It's still just a week of your life. So it wouldn't really matter. Leonardo DiCaprio or Denzel Washington? Somebody just brought that up, okay? Who's the better actor? That's a tough one, and I think it's... I don't know. I think it's all subjective. Like, acting's a very subjective art. I mean, yeah, there are great actors, don't get me wrong. And I think Leo and Denzel are two of the best. But, I don't know. Because are we talking about intensity? Then maybe Leo. But if we're talking about more of a range, then maybe Denzel. Because there's some scenes, like, my God, guys. Have you guys seen Training Day? Denzel won the Oscar for Training Day. And boy, did he earn it. Wow. His performance in Training Day is stunning. Amazing. Yeah, David Diggs, what's up, brother? He says Denzel has more range. Yeah. I think, I agree with David. I think Denzel is the final answer on that, you know? And, dude, Leo, if Leo does any movie, I'm there day one. I don't even need to know what the movie's about. He's just that type of actor. I trust him. I know that whatever he picks is going to be probably interesting at least. And I can't really say that about Denzel, honestly, because Denzel's doing this Equalizer 3 right now, and I'm sure the Equalizer movies are good. I haven't seen any of them yet, you know, so I guess I'm a little bit more picky. I've seen quite a few Denzel movies. Don't get me wrong, you know, but I haven't seen all of them. Whereas Leo, I'm pretty sure I've seen every single movie that he's done. Right? David says, Leo always seems to be playing Leo the same with The Rock. Well, I don't know if I would compare Leo with The Rock, though, because I think Leo's definitely a much better actor than The Rock, but I get where David's going with that, because Leo always, maybe it's the roles he takes. Like, he always takes these roles where there's a moment in there where he's just extremely intense, you know, and emotional. But they're fun characters to watch, for sure. Whereas The Rock, who's a decent actor, I don't think he has the range that even Leo has. Okay. All right, next one. That was a good question, though. The Boys Love Story. Okay, The Boys Love Story. All right, guys. This is The Boys with no spoilers. I just started watching The Boys. I paused it here to tell you all what a beautiful love story I think these two are having, and can't wait to see where it goes. Now, this is a treat for those in the chat that have seen The Boys, okay? Because you're gonna get the joke and you're gonna love it. And if you haven't seen The Boys, what the hell are you doing with your life? Oh my God! And we say superhero fatigue, but then you have The Boys, which is really, I think The Boys is just great drama comedy that's disguised as a superhero show. It's not really a superhero show, even though they have superpowers. But to me, it's more satire, and it's just hilarious and compelling and beautifully directed with amazing action. Like Destiny said, hero-gasm. That's what it is. You can't compare The Boys to like Marvel and DC. It's just a whole different animal, and I think it's like far more satisfying, if I'm being honest. Because and it doesn't hurt that it's a hard R, like a hard R. Oh my God, have you seen season 3, episode 1 when they go to a certain type of party? Holy shit, Dave Vanderoff, what's up, brother? How you doing? Dave, I need your opinion. I feel like Dave's a techie. Does my camera look nice and shine? I do look a little shinier. I swear I didn't rub Vaseline on my face. Although it looks like I did. But I swear to God I didn't. Okay? Have you guys seen this freaking Tenebrae 4K, the new cover? Holy shit, man, that is sexy. That is a really, really nice cover. And matter of fact, I just bought... Here it is. Destiny, have you seen Tenebrae? You better tell me you've seen Tenebrae. Look at that. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me go back to the main screen so I can show you guys the full. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Man. Yeah, I love my new camera, guys. Look at that. Now I can show you crystal clear physical media, right? This is why you want to buy physical media, okay? I'd almost like, if you were like a massive Tenebrae fan, which I am, it'd be kind of cool to have both covers. Like this is the one where the woman gets the book shoved in her mouth. And then you got the other one with the lady that gets killed, spoiler alert, out the window. Because Dario Argento had this thing with windows, killing victims with windows, and they get cut with the glass. So, but man, what a cover. What a cover. Guys, do you think that Tenebrae is really like growing in popularity over the past few years? Because I'm seeing so many more people mentioning Tenebrae. Holy shit, Destiny, are you kidding me? Oh my God. Tenebrae has one of the it literally has one of my favorite killer reveals. Not because of who the killer is, but just the nature of the scene and how it all plays out. It's freaking whacked out bonkers, and I love it. I love it to death. Jesus, Destiny, you need to get on that. Probably one of my favorite scores too. Holy shit, what a score by Goblin, or 3/4 of Goblin. Let's see. David Diggs says, "Have you seen The Last Matinee? Great Italian movie or recent past?" That sounds. I haven't, but that does sound really familiar. I'll have to look that one up. I can say there was a movie I saw today that's going to be my next review called The Slayer. By the way, guys, Tubi. Holy shit, man. Tubi, like I've always been a fan of Tubi, but over the last couple of weeks, I've been like kind of going through Tubi. And I think it started because I was looking for Hollow Man. Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews. He just reviewed Hollow Man. And man, it just brought back these memories of that movie. I saw it. I might have saw it in the theater when it came out. It came out in 2000, I think. And I'm just a massive Paul Verhoeven fan, okay? I think Paul Verhoeven is every bit as good a director as, your freaking Scorsese and Spielberg and Tarantino. Just because when you watch a Paul Verhoeven movie, if you're a fan of his, it's a Paul Verhoeven movie, right? I just love how in your face his directing style is and how he's not afraid to push the envelope and get a little scandalous and explicit. And, to give you an idea, he did like Basic Instinct. He did Showgirls. I think he did Showgirls. But he did Hollow Man. He did Starship Troopers. His movies are just very like graphic in nature, And I love the guy. I love Paul Verhoeven. His movies are just really interesting. RoboCop. Thank you very much, Jason. Yeah, RoboCop. Oh my God, I'd buy that for $1. And RoboCop at face value, it looks like a normal action movie, But when you watch the movie, you're just like, holy shit. You know, like this massive robot comes into this board meeting and just blows everybody to smithereens, blood flying all over the place, you know? So I think Paul Verhoeven's thing is, I'll do any genre you want, but let me just completely pour buckets and buckets of blood all over the place, all right? I need to get as graphic and as explicit as I possibly can. I don't care if I'm doing a romantic comedy, all right? That's just the way Paul Verhoeven is. He's awesome. So, after watching Jason's review of Hollow Man, it just brought back all these great memories of that movie. And, like Paul Verhoeven's other stuff, Hollow Man's very... I don't think it's as graphic as some of his other movies, but man, it definitely pushes the envelope on some things. And it's just about the Invisible Man, you know? It's not like a remake of the Invisible Man. It's its own story. But I was looking for the movie because I wanted to watch it. And sure enough, it was on Tubi. And so I went down kind of a Tubi rabbit hole. And Tubi, so many great classic movies are on there. The only thing is you got to sit through like 6 ads sometimes, which is tough. But man, if you're a horror fan, oh my God, check out their horror section. Like I'd even say they might have more horror movies than Shudder. And I love Shudder. Don't get me wrong. I love Shudder. Okay. And there are movies on Shudder that you will not find on Tubi. There are Shudder exclusives. So I'm not knocking Shudder. Okay. But I'm also over here saying Tubi freaking rocks. It really does. And I think a lot of those, I guess you could say like more high profile horror movies from like the 80s and 90s and even before like 70s. There's a good chance you might find them on Tubi, but also you'll find a lot of deep cuts, which was a nice surprise. And one of the deep cuts I found was The Slayer. Never heard of this movie. 1982, which is one of my favorite all-time years. Okay, 1982. So I was like, okay, I need to check out this movie. Nobody told me you need to check out The Slayer, but it just looked interesting to me. And so I watched it, and then I watched it again. Because let me just kind of tell you my process. What makes me decide to review a movie? Because I do get this question from time to time. Like, how do you pick these movies, these deep cut movies that you find? And there's a variety of answers to that. You know, sometimes somebody will say, "Hey, Lee, you need to check out this movie," and I'll watch it. But sometimes it's by accident. And kind of my rule of thumb is, I like finding movies that are like deep cuts that I've never heard of. And many times I'll start watching one of these movies and it's shit. It's just completely horrible. And I don't mind reviewing bad movies, but it's got to be at least worth discussing and interesting. So my general rule of thumb is I'll throw the movie on and I'll be honest, I don't really like fully engage unless I've just got nothing better to do. But, you know, I'm such a busy guy that I'm always trying to multitask. But here's my rule of thumb. If something from that movie like jumps out at me immediately, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to rewatch this whole thing. There were at least, I think, 4 things in The Slayer as I'm kind of watching it, doing my own thing. You know, I'm like doing this, and then I'd be go, holy shit. And then I go back and do whatever I'm doing. Then I'd look up and go, wow, really? That's crazy. You know, 4 times that happened. All right. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch this whole movie and I'm just going to fully invest my time in it. And that's what I did yesterday. And I really dug this movie. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's really worth discussing. All right. So that's probably my next review, and Hollow Man. I would definitely want to review Hollow Man because I watched Hollow Man recently too, again on Tubi. All right, so I know I went down a Tubi rabbit hole for you there, but guys, are some of you guys like looking for something to watch? You know, you're kind of thirsting for something to watch. Give Tubi a chance if you haven't. A lot of good stuff on there. Okay, and if you're really a horror fan, go looking through their horror selection. There's some good stuff in there. And I like finding things I've never seen, or I just haven't seen in like 20 years that kind of sparks a memory, you know, and that's kind of what Hollow Man did. All right. We'll stop right there with the funnies, all right, because it's 7:43 already. All right? I knew I'd get carried away, but You know what? Since we're in this thing, let me take you to this Nightmare on Elm Street theory thing. And don't worry, we're going to do revenge. I already got 10 movies selected for you. We're going to do our revenge horror movies. Still got a lot to cover. All right. I tell you what, let me go to this page where the Twitter thing is. All right. I'm going to close this. All right. I want to play, this is a TikTok video. All right. And then we're going to discuss this because it's interesting. All right. Freddy Krueger was innocent and the actual villain is not who you think. All right, let's watch this real quick. It's just a quick little TikTok video. Okay, here we go. Do I have your attention? Here we go. Okay, and Orlando Gomez, I got to give him a shout out. He shared this with me. Okay, so here we go. Listen up.
What if I told you not only was Freddy Krueger innocent, but a clue to the actual identity of the Springwood slasher has been in our faces this entire time? They killed Freddy Krueger in cold blood by burning him alive. And his otherworldly return from the grave was a revenge quest against the people who wrongfully killed him. When children of Springwood began getting killed, the finger was almost immediately pointed at Freddy Krueger. Freddy would be arrested, but at his court date, there was an overwhelming lack of actual evidence that resulted in him being set free. That's when one person in particular began rallying up the residents of Springwood into a mob mentality to get their own version of justice. And that's when Nancy's mother, Marge, gathered everyone up, took them to Freddy Krueger's house, kicked in the door, stormed in, grabbed Freddy, drug him to the basement, and burned him alive. Marge would look on with a devious grin on her face as Freddy screamed and burned. Everyone would put this incident behind them and move on until years later when their very own kids began dying in their sleep. And even though the majority of Freddy's attention was placed on Nancy, he didn't kill her. It was as if he was intentionally trying to torment Marge. And that's because the actual Springwood slasher was in fact Marge. And we get confirmation of this when she took Nancy to the basement, went to the furnace, and pulled something out that was wrapped in cloth. And that would be the bladed glove. She had kept it hidden the entire time. She had never brought it in court for evidence or anything. That's because it was the glove that she would wear to kill her victims. When investigations began and people started pointing the fingers at one another, she spearheaded the campaign to take all the attention away from everyone, including herself, and place it on Freddy Krueger, an easy option for a scapegoat. Her husband, who would later become the chief of police, was aware of everything and would defend his wife and have her back to the very end. And that included faking the original search warrants that got Freddy Krueger arrested. And after he was killed, he remained in purgatory, refusing to move on, instead obsessing over revenge and trying to get back at the people, in particular Marge, responsible for killing him in the first place. And that's when he came up with a plan to get back into the real world using the dreams of the children responsible for killing him. Slowly but surely, he realized he could do this when Nancy pulled his hat out of a dream and brought it into the real world. That's when he realized he could use her to pull him into the world so he could get his revenge on Marge. Even though Freddy would have his revenge and rip Marge into the afterlife with him, his soul could still not rest. He was now a twisted, tormented vessel of rage whose thirst for blood could never be quenched no matter how much he drank. And all the while refusing to admit to himself that he had become the very thing Marge said he was in his past life, a child killer. Oh, you're actually still here. Okay, why is it so cheap to party at a haunted house? It's because the ghosts bring all the booze.
Okay. Is your mind blown? Or are you rolling your eyes? Or what's going on? I need to know what you guys are thinking right now, okay? That's a lot to process. So Marge was actually the Springwood slasher. She was the one killing all these kids. And then she framed Freddy. You know, it's an interesting story, the way he describes it and everything. And it's kind of cool that I'm guessing that he came up with this theory. But By the way, Sean Hunt was the guy that shared that too. So I want to give him, yeah, 3 gunmen. Yeah, that's definitely a stretch. But you know, I think the reason it doesn't work is because it takes a little bit of the steam out of Freddy as a threat. You know, now I mean he's definitely a threat, but do you guys like the idea that Freddy is guilty? You know, that Freddy is a killer. He was the guy that killed in the first place and all the parents got together? Or does it not take anything away? Like, do you almost like the idea that that this would make him a sympathetic killer? Like, this guy was wronged all along and now he's taking his revenge on the children of Elm Street? You know, I don't know. I don't. Boy, it's really interesting, and it's a wild theory. But I think what makes some of the best theories work is there's all these evidence pieces in place for you to kind of come up with these theories, right? And you know, there's a lot of evidence that you could work with in the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, thanks to Marge, Nancy's mom. And even down to Marge's behavior, you don't completely 100% make the leap that Marge is a very well put together person. You know, she is an alcoholic. She is completely screwed up. So, yeah, wow, it's a crazy theory, but it's a good one. I think it's a really good theory, whether you agree with it or not. There's some fat to chew on, you know. That's what I like about it. But I think I like Freddy the way he is. And I think it was genius of them all this time to never spell out if Freddy was actually, you know, well, I don't even know if I can say the word on YouTube. Can I say the word on YouTube? I'll just say he's a child killer. That's as far as they go with it, you know. I don't like using that other word, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah. I think it's good to keep Freddy the way he is, you know? I don't think... Because sympathetic killers can be a little bit shaky, right? Sometimes they can work, but some... Like Cropsy. Cropsy's more of a sympathetic killer because he was burned. But it was all a practical joke. And as much as we like Cropsy's no Freddy, right? Really, I think the best killers are guilty. Jason is guilty. Jason's not really avenging anything. You know, he's just crazy in the head. And he doesn't want anybody showing up to Crystal Lake. You know, I'm sure some people would say, is Jason avenging his mother's death? I don't really think he is, if I'm being honest. I don't think he is. So, Mega Cat, she's not killing anything but a fifth of vodka. Well, maybe, you know, her husband is the freaking chief of police, right? Maybe she wasn't an alcoholic before the whole Freddy thing. Maybe she was very well put together. Maybe she could have been a lawyer. They live in a very nice neighborhood, right? So there's a good chance she was pretty well to do and probably had connections. Who knows? But I mean, the thought of her going around by herself, like, what would be the motive? You know, that's where it starts getting a little thin. Like, what would be her motive to go around killing kids, right? But yeah, Jason, and then also Michael Myers, right? Michael is completely evil, and yeah. So yeah, that was a fun theory to discuss, though. Okay, definitely a fun theory to discuss. All right, before we get into revenge, remember last week on the DDLive, I said I will, like, we're talking about Halloween Ends. All right, let's talk about Halloween Ends for a sec. All right. I stated that you can throw any, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I was comparing Halloween Ends to Scream 6, and I was talking about any plot holes or anything that you could pick apart about how you could throw it at me, and you might be right, but I think more times than not, I can rebut it, okay? Because a lot of the things that people got upset about, I was like, oh, well, there's an answer for that, you know? It was just one of those type of situations. There's very few instances where somebody says, that's stupid, the way they did that. That would never happen. Actually, it would if in the confines of the story, you know? In the way the story is handled, all the rules of the story, it does check out. So, sure enough, just today, there was somebody in my comments, because this was on one of my DDLive clips, and somebody in my comments, this is how you leave a respectful comment. Well, I'll show you. You know, I love a healthy debate. I got nothing against a healthy debate. It's just, I think my point last week was I was just talking about how don't be a dick. Don't be a complete dick and be rude and insult somebody's intelligence because they like a movie, right? That's all I was saying. All right. So let me. I think I put it over here in the funny. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so HN's rebut, and let me take this Tenebrae thing off here. Oh, there it is. Tenebrae 4K. Okay. So, all right. Hopefully you can read that. All right. He says, Halloween ends the whole movie. Break it down a little bit. I like that he did this. I like that he actually broke it down, the things that he didn't like. Corey babysitting instead of a girl. The black lady from Kills still... Ooh, this is one I forgot. I didn't even address this. I'll address it right now. The black lady from Kills still being alive. I'll give him that one. I will definitely give him that one. She was stabbed right in the neck with... I always forget, what do you call those lights? And I'm a freaking maintenance man. Guys, what do you call those lights? The freaking tube lights? Tube lights? There's a name for them. I always forget them. Yeah, he's right. He's right there. She would be dead. I don't think she'd be alive. Okay, I'll give him that one. The band geeks in general, the look and how they acted, Michael being just a man, and the supernatural to the point of going from Hunchback of Notre Dame to transcending after a kill, even though he would have been healed up after kills because the mob slaughtered. Corey taking the mask from Michael. Corey just deciding to hate on Lori and become a killer. And the finale, Lori being anything but Sarah Connor after her daughter was killed. Okay, so here, well, you know, let me address the Sarah Connor thing too, because I did address that one, but I didn't cut it out here. So the thing about Sarah Connor, because I do hear this one a lot. The fact that she would just completely act like Michael didn't exist, right? Because what she did before, obviously it didn't work. You know, she pretty much became a Sarah Connor. Fluorescent lights. Thank you, Polly. Fluorescent lights. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, she spent years and years and years prepping her house to become pretty much a defensive fortress. That didn't work out. So then what does she do in Ends? She decides to just, I guess, ignore it, right? And so my thing with that is it's an actual form of therapy. Like you can, I think you can ask like any therapist this. For trauma victims, all right? There's different ways to deal with trauma. And one way that therapists will tell you is taking away the power, right? And obviously, the way that Lori chose to fight off that evil the first time was to build this freaking fortress, right? This impenetrable fortress. Michael came in like a freaking bulldozer and just blew that whole thing right out of the water. Didn't work at all. Okay, he burned and he still came back, right? So this is a person that she did all this prep work. It did nothing. Okay, and then B, Lori has lost so much that I think when people, especially in a short amount of time, they just lose so many people in their life. Eventually, they just start becoming numb. And I think that's what happened to Lori. I think Lori just kind of became numb. and she chose to not give the evil any power anymore, not give her oppressor any power. That's what she did. So, and I think I even saw this in the behind the scenes. They went at this from kind of a therapeutic type of point of view. If you don't give that evil any power, then it doesn't exist. And that's what she chose to do. Because obviously she can't do the other thing, right? It's not going to work, right? So she chose that. So, but here's my rebut, and you guys might not even agree with me on this, okay? But I have answers, okay? And just because I have answers doesn't mean that's going to make you automatically like the movie, okay? You're probably still going to not like the movie, all right? So I'm not here to try to make him like the movie, but I do have answers for his problems, all right? I said, thank you for the breakdown. Here's my rebut. So you're saying a guy can't babysit. I babysit my granddaughter from time to time. This was a 10-year-old. I believe he was like 10 years old, not a baby. Is it a leap? Like, is it going to make, like, are you guys, if you watch a movie, are you really going to be that upset if a guy babysits somebody? You know, it's happened before. Okay. Does it have to be a girl babysitting at the beginning of Halloween Ends? You know, let's just put it this way. When Halloween Ends started, I'm in the theater and I see that Corey is watching this kid. I didn't say, yeah, fuck that. I can't enjoy this movie anymore. No. Okay. Casey says, I mean, the kid died. Okay. Maybe he's right on that one. Okay. I'm just saying it's viable. And hey, a girl could babysit and terrible, terrible things could happen. That's actually happened before. Okay. There have been freaking drownings. There have been gunshots, accidents, all under the care of a female babysitter. All right. You can look it up on news stories. So fair game there. Okay, guys? All right. Number 2. Now, this is talking about the bullies, right? I stated this. I've known bullies of all shapes and sizes. The writer literally based the Band Geeks off of real events he had in school. Bullies often like to come in packs. So again, this kind of, is it viable that for pretty much, when you get right down to it, 4 teenagers, okay, who are different. You know, you have like, I think a female and 3 males or 2 females, but these are 4 teenagers when you get right down to it who happen to be in band, all right? And again, bullies come in all shapes and sizes. They don't have to be jocks. And as a matter of fact, I've seen quite a few jocks that are pretty nice people, right? So gang up mentality, that shit happens. And by the way, guys, on the internet is fucking full of bullies. And they get worse when they gang up with each other. All right? So I can relate to this, and I had 0 fucking problems with it. Okay? Like I said, gang up. You can't solve every problem with your fist, right? You just can't. Bullying it's just as much a psychological thing as it is a physical thing. And I think everybody, when they look at these band geeks, and I'll use the term geeks loosely, but the band people, they automatically go for the physical. Okay? They automatically go for the physical. And it's not necessarily that with bullying. Okay? All right. Cyberbullying has changed the game, really, too. So, yeah. All right. So, next one. Now, this is talking about Corey taking Myers down. All right. This is probably the number 1 bitch that I see from people. There's no way Corey could take Myers down. Okay. In the context of the story, it completely makes sense. All right. So I said this one is easy. Myers is supernatural because of the power of the evil, but his body is still that of a late 60s man. He took a hell of a beating in kills. This was the very reason for the transference. That's the reason that the evil wanted to get out of Myers in the first place. It was because he wasn't 100%. All right. So by the time the evil had already transferred to Corey, so he was 100% human. He had supernatural abilities at the time he took, and I need to go up here. Hold on. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying there is Corey, by the time he took that mask, if you remember, the transference had already happened. When he looks in that mirror, the evil is already there, right? So that is not just Corey taking down Myers. That's also the evil within Corey taking down Myers. And the evil, it's going to give Corey this like superhuman strength, right? And you got Myers who's pretty much next to death. So again, in the context of the story, it was almost essential for it to play out like that. And here's the thing people don't mention is that who killed Corey in the end of the movie? Michael Myers, right? You don't take Myers' mask because it's not too long before you're dead. And that's what Myers did. He ended up killing Corey at the end of the movie when he, quote unquote, leveled up, right? So, and then I think... Oh, yeah, and he was asking about Corey hating on Lori. And one thing you got to remember, too, is, again, Corey, that's not fully Corey hating on Lori. It's actually Corey, like, I guess, the evil, because he already has, like, the infection within him. And what is the one thing that the evil hates is Laurie Strode, because Laurie Strode is, like, good, fighting the evil. So the evil... he wants to kill her immediately, right? So that's why Corey kind of like went after her. So I don't know, guys. Do you agree? Do you agree with half of that? I don't know. Now, one thing I did say, he said the fight at the end, or maybe I misunderstood what he was saying, but at the end, I think he was saying that like Lori wouldn't beat Myers. I agree with him on that. This is not a 100% Myers, okay? And this is a Lori that has all that training, and it is her turf, her ground. She knows her house, so it's viable. It's definitely viable. So I don't know. I like these fun debates. All right. I know I talked too long about it, but it's fun to debate these movies. All right. So thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Dave agrees with me. There you go. Now, in his defense, I'll say this, and everybody that doesn't like Halloween Ends. Do I think Halloween Ends should have been the closing chapter of the trilogy? Probably not. Probably not. What that movie should have been, I don't know. All right, I don't know. Would that movie have been better than Halloween Ends? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. In my mind, because I love Halloween Ends. But I can agree with anybody that says Halloween Ends should not have been the closing movie in that chapter. Halloween Ends should have been its own thing, kind of like almost like a sidestep, right? A spinoff. Halloween Ends should have been a spinoff. I do agree with that, okay? And Casey says, let us not forget Evil Dies Tonight. As much as I love Halloween Kills, and I said this last week, there are a few things about that movie I can't argue. I'll be fair. The whole misdirection with Tivoli, you're right. I can't argue that. I don't think anybody would think Tivoli was Myers. And I did kind of fight that battle for a little bit, but then I came to my senses after. There's no way. There's no way. Evil Dies Tonight, it's not the word or the phrase itself that irks me, because I do think mob mentality, they do often start chanting things. It's very common for them to chant things. But I think there were certain moments where the use of Evil Dies Tonight was annoying. For some reason, and guys, let me know if you agree with me here, but Nurse Marion, she kind of annoyed me in the movie. Like the one scene where she's like, "This is for Dr. Loomis." I was like, that's stupid. What is she doing? She wouldn't say this. She has a fucking killer coming at her with a knife, and she's going to go, "This is for Dr." No. I don't know. It was just the whole delivery of the line. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of stupid. "This is for Dr. Loomis." No. And when she says Evil Dies Tonight, I just didn't like it. Okay? So if I did like a fan edit of Halloween Kills, I think I would take out a couple of them. But honestly, when Tommy said Evil Dies Tonight, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, here we go. I bought what his intentions were, right? Yeah. So yeah, fun discussion though. Fun discussion. All right. You guys ready to do some revenge horror? let's do some revenge horror. Okay. I don't really have any news for you guys tonight. That's why I was, trying to pack the show with other stuff. And what is that? I pulled up Bloody Disgusting, and I was wanting to, and I was like, what is this movie? I guess Screambox has this new movie called Subject, and I might have to check this movie out, okay? Because it looks like a nice slasher, all right? Got some good slasher kills in it, all right? So I might have to check out Subject, all right? Have any of you seen Subject? Is it good? Is it worth checking out? Let me know. Let me know. All right. Okay, revenge horror. Revenge horror. I got 10 revenge horror movies for you. And before we get going, give me one of your favorite revenge. It doesn't even have to be horror, because there's a lot of revenge movies out there. Give me like one of your favorite revenge movies, okay? Give me one of your favorite revenge movies. Hell, you could even look at freaking Rambo 2 as a revenge movie, right? Because Murdoch screwed him over. Murdoch didn't come back to save him. And, you got that iconic scene where he's like, Murdoch, I'm coming for you. So from that moment on, we got a revenge movie, And the look on Murdoch's face, he knew he screwed up as soon as he heard, Murdoch, I'm coming for you, right? Let's see. Cobra Kai says, have you ever watched Full House, the TV show sitcom? Do you like it? It was one of those shows I would catch in passing from time to time. I never sat down to watch, episode after episode after episode. So I can't really qualify for an opinion on Full House. It was, now I can tell you, what were some of the 80s shows I used to watch? I did watch and I know Full House I think was mostly 90s, but I was an 80s teenager and an 80s kid. So I watched The Facts of Life. I watched Family Ties, Different Strokes. Matter of fact, I'd say Different Strokes was probably one of my favorite comedies back then. Jason, did you beat me to that? Different Stroke. What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, man, those are good memories right there. I used to love Different Strokes. What are some other 80s comedies I used to watch? I think that's about it. I can't think of too many more. There's a lot of, Jason Bateman was in a show. Hogan Family. Hogan Family started out as Valerie, right? It started out as Valerie, and then the actress that played Valerie, she wanted more money, so she left the show because they called her bluff. Because she's like, I'm the star of the show. You're going to pay me more. And they're like, oh, no, we're not. And so they changed the show to Valerie's Family. And then the third or fourth season, they changed it to the Hogan Family. So, yeah, with Jason Bateman, I used to like that show. I swear to God, there was one episode of Valerie where Jason Bateman, he's like the big brother. And I think he's got twin brothers in there. And the twin brothers come in and they're pestering him. I swear to God, and I'm probably wrong, but the way I remember it, and this was on freaking prime time, 7 p.m. TV or whatever time it came on, I could swear he said, fuck off to both those little kids. I could swear he said it. And maybe my brain was playing tricks on me. I don't know, but that stayed with me this whole time. I swear he said fuck off. And I think the show was on ABC or CBS or something like that. Silver Spoons was another good one. Yep, Ricky Schroeder. Yeah. Taxi's a little bit before my time. I was born in 73, so I didn't really watch Taxi too much. MASH, stuff like that. My dad would watch shows like that. Oh, another show I used to watch with the reruns, I'd watch Andy Griffith. Oh my God, I loved Andy Griffith. We used to watch Andy Griffith every day, the freaking reruns of Andy Griffith and Sanford and Son. Those two shows are two of my all-time favorite sitcoms. Sanford and Son, and what was the other one I just said? Oh, Andy Griffith. Yeah, Andy Griffith. Punky Brewster was good. Salil Moonfry, had a big old crush on her. Yeah. Three's Company, yes. Three's Company was great. Chris, thank you. Yeah. There were a lot of really good TV comedies back then, you know? Coach, yeah, Coach was a good show. Mork and Mindy. Yeah, so many of them. So anyway, yeah. Revenge horror. Here we go. I got 10 revenge horror movies for you. Polly, you know I love Incredible Hulk. Now, we're talking about comedies. All right, we're talking about comedies because I had to like stop myself from saying Incredible Hulk. I did. Because that's my number one all-time show. So, anyway, yeah. Revenge horror. All right, revenge horror. There are so many revenge, even horror movies, and I had to like narrow it down. This was an easy list to put together, okay? So these are 10 movies that I really like, okay? First one, can you guys tell me what that is? That is Last House on the Left. Last House on the Left is a remake, and I think, is it better than the original? I'd say yes, only that it's easily more accessible than the original, you know? I think the original is a tougher watch. One, because it's definitely full-on grindhouse, and it's dated. And I think the remake it has like this perfect tone to it, you know? It's still edgy. It still pushes the envelope. But it's also fun, I guess, for lack of a better term. You know, it does have the one scene in question that is, and they let the scene last, and, you know, they send it home so that way when the revenge portion of the movie comes into play, you don't feel anything for Krug and his crew. You do feel for his son, though, played by Spencer Treat Clark, who is, I think, one of the most underrated young actors. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten like a really big role, although he was in like Glass, you know, Unbreakable, Gladiator. But man, he's a really good actor, and you just felt horrible for this kid. As a matter of fact, I'd even say Spencer Treat Clark played that character much better than the original guy did back in the, you know, with the original Last House on the Left. But yeah, this young actress here, the victim, her and her friend, man, it's a tough scene to watch because it's one of those scenes where everything shifts on a dime. You know, those two girls and the young boy, they're in the room. They're, you know, smoking some pot, having a good time, and the mood feels light. But as soon as Krug comes into that room, you automatically feel extremely uncomfortable, and it just feels dangerous, you know? So, top-notch acting in this movie. And you just feel like you want her to survive so bad. Now, I think the difference too, doesn't the young girl die in the original? It's been a while since I saw the original, but she lives in this one. Now I do think at the very end, I don't think they needed to do the little microwave kill like they did. I think. The point of the movie had been made, and I think it was great as it was. But then I think they just went a little bit too far, and they turned the movie into something that it didn't need to be with the microwave kill at the end, you know? But, yeah, Last House on the Left, fantastic. By the way, guys, this is in no particular order. These are just 10 random movies, okay? So I'm not counting down to number one. Last House on the Left is fantastic, and it's one of the better remakes out there for sure. Okay, next one. It's up here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. Now, I thought, which one of these do I put on here? And you know what? I got to go with the original. I will always have a soft spot for the original. I think I saw it for the first time back in the early 90s. This was a time where I had just joined the military. I was single at the time, and I just wanted to watch some horror movies that I hadn't seen yet, I guess you could say, right? This is the VHS days. You go to the rental store. As a matter of fact, we had this like rental store back then. I lived in Colorado at the time. And there were dollar rentals. Like pretty much everything, like all their catalog rentals were like $1. And I remember going to the horror section. And this freaking VHS, it leaps out at you over everything. And immediately I wanted to, and the name, because originally this movie was called Day of the Woman, and it couldn't really get any traction, even though it was a graphic movie. But as soon as they changed the name of the movie God, what am I doing? Freaking, I Spit on Your Grave, Jesus. As soon as they changed the movie to I Spit on Your Grave, that's a hook, right? That's a hook. So I remember I rented this movie and like quite a few other movies at the time. And I think most of them were grindhouse, like hardcore type movies, for lack of a better word. And man, this is a movie that I have probably watched maybe 2 or 3 times in my entire life. It's not an easy watch at all. As a matter of fact, I reviewed this movie a couple years ago, and the director's son actually reached out to me after, which was really cool. And he did his own documentary about this movie, and that documentary is really interesting. And so I ended up buying, here it is right here, actually. I have the 4K, but here's the box set. And look at that box set, guys. And it has Deja Vu, which I'm going to admit I still haven't even watched because I heard it's horrible, okay? But that's 3 discs. You got I Spit on Your Grave, and then you got the documentary, which is like an hour and a half long, I think. And then you got the Deja Vu movie, which I haven't watched yet. But man, that documentary is really great. And the print is beautiful. And this is just the Blu-ray, but I also have the 4K. Right? I also got the 4K. Somebody sent me the 4K. But man, it's a really, I like this like the hard case that these movies have. It's really, really nice. But yeah, when I watched this for my review, it was the first time I had seen this movie in probably 25 years, if I'm being honest. But I wanted to watch it so I could really give it a full in-depth review. So, and let me see if I see, yeah, here you go. I got the VHS too. This is probably one of my most prized VHS possessions. Yeah, there you go. VHS with the clamshell. Love that sound. But really, really good condition too. Here you go. Yeah. Really good condition. And I even watched it on VHS. I think I even had it like playing in the background as I was reviewing it. So, yeah. But, oh, by the way, guys, can anybody tell me, and I know somebody can, whose derriere is that? Okay? Does anybody know whose Tookus that is? All right, guys? It's going to pop up here in a minute. I just know it. And that little factoid came out recent, like a couple years ago. There you go. Blade Brown gets it. Demi Moore. It had been a rumor for years and years that was Demi Moore. And then she finally admitted it in her biography that she wrote. Hey, Horn Coffee, thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I like it. If I had to complain about this webcam, it's the picture is darker than my previous webcams, and by that I mean I have to crank up the lights brighter than I usually do, because I got like a big 18-inch light right over here, and then I got like this 8-inch light up here. And that one I can't really adjust, but I have to move it forward closer to me. But this one I have to adjust it brighter. So that's the only thing. But other than that, yeah, I love it's a crystal clear image. So it's nice. So anyway, yeah, Back to the countdown, as Casey Kasem would say. Okay. But yeah, I didn't really talk about the movie, but man, it is probably one of the most hard-edged. I don't want to say the subject, because YouTube might get in trouble. But you know what type of movie this is, and the one thing that's just like stomach churning about it is the act lasts for around 45 minutes, just over and over and over. And that's why this movie is so hard to watch. They drill it home, so by the time she goes and gets her revenge, you don't feel a thing for these assholes, you know? And boy, like the one scene that really was so popular in this movie was the bathtub scene, when she's in the bathtub with the guy. And I think it's not the visual of seeing the blood come out of the bathtub. No, it's the quick little tug. You know, she like, because you see her grab the knife outside of the bathtub. She brings it in, and then you see the guy jerk when and he's like, ooh. And I think he even says something like, that almost felt good, or something like that. And any guy, like, let's just put it this way. Any guy knows how it feels to be kicked in the balls, okay? Now imagine having it cut off with a knife. Jesus. Whew. Brutal. Erica, how are you doing? Nice to see you in here. Erica Bro, everybody. Tell her hello. Vanderhoff, did you like I've watched the remake once. Matter of fact, I've been planning on rewatching it because I want to review it. It's okay, but I don't think it's nearly as impactful as the original. But I think it's a decent remake for sure. I know it has its fans. You know? Like, I think they tried to up the ante a little bit too much with the kills in the remake. And maybe it takes the realism away a little bit. But the one thing I will give the remake credit for is obviously it's more accessible. You know, like the scene in question doesn't have. It's not. I don't think it's as long as the original. You know, the original is just brutal. Whew. Especially the rock scene where she's laying on the rock. Wow, just tough. And she ended up marrying the director of the movie. Whew, Jesus, Camille Keaton. Yeah. Matter of fact, Fluff, he sent me an autographed Camille Keaton I Spit on Your Grave poster. It's right. It's like right there where my finger is. Okay. Matter of fact, I could probably. Yeah, there you go. If I do this, hold on. Yeah, you can see it. Right there on the left. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know, it's that backstory. I always get into the behind the scenes on movies, even if I don't like necessarily love the movie. And the behind the scenes on I Spit on Your Grave, it's really interesting. Really interesting. So yeah. All right, next one. Now I put a couple on here that some of you guys probably haven't seen. And I did that on purpose, all right? Just to give you guys some recommendations. Here's one that just came out this last year, and it's a Christmas horror movie. It's called The Apology, and it's got Anna Gunn, you know, Skylar from Breaking Bad. And the whole movie takes place in this house, and this guy, without giving you any spoilers, because I think it's worth watching. It's a good movie. It's a slow burn, but it definitely gets pretty intense. But basically, it's this guy from her past that she hasn't seen in like, I think 20 years or something like that. Just shows up at her door. And I think because they're planning some kind of get together or something like that. And then it just goes south. It gets really dark and heavy because I guess they had like a sort of a relationship in the past, and something, I don't want to give anything away, but something tragic happens. You know, it happened back then. And so he's looking to apologize. Okay. But it doesn't go the way that you are expecting, okay? And I really dug this movie. And I don't see it talked about enough. And I think it definitely has payoff in the revenge department, okay? I'll just say that. And again, I know there's a lot of you people that haven't seen it. Polly's raving about it there. So there you go. And I agree with Polly. I think it's really good. And it just gets better and better. And the ending is really good. Really good. You know, if you love revenge horror movies, then this is definitely a good one to put on your list. And I'm going to give you another one that some of you guys probably haven't seen. This is Violation. I discovered this movie, I think, last year on Shudder. And it's basically, why do like revenge movies always take place in the woods? Like the Apology movie, it kind of has like a forestry type environment, I think. I Spit on Your Grave has a section in the woods. I don't know, Last House on the Left, but another one, Apology. These four friends, they go into the woods for this getaway, this get together. And again, two of the characters have a history together, and it goes south really bad. And there is a scene in this movie that I promise you will never forget. It will take, like, it's there right now, okay? I'm thinking about it right now. It's, wow. Jaws of life, people, okay? It's, you know, every now and then there's a horror movie that comes along and there's like a scene, like say The First Terrifier, and there's a scene that would take the jaws of life to get out of your freaking skull, okay? So, definitely can't recommend Violation enough, and it's a good movie. This woman, she loses it, all right? Let's just put it that way. You can tell she, like, at that moment in the movie, she has reached her breaking point, okay? Very well directed movie too. Very well directed movie. All right. Erica says, I just saw Alone recently. That's a great woods horror thriller. Yes. You know what, Erica? I reviewed Alone like probably 4 years ago now. And that is one review that I still constantly get comments on. I don't know why. It's like every now and then, there's a certain movie that you review and that you just constantly get comments. For a while there, it was Tale of Two Sisters. I was constantly getting comments on Tale of Two Sisters. Funny enough, The Uninvited, which is like the American remake of that, was also getting constant comments. But Alone is one of those movies that it's the gift that keeps on giving, you know? Alice, Sweet Alice. And what's cool about these, like they'll start off and they'll creep into like 1,000 views. And sometimes they'll just stop there and you think that, but then sometimes they keep going. And then like, you got like Alice, Sweet Alice that's like passing like 20,000 views. It's insane how some of these deep cuts, they just have a life, you know? But Alone is really good, and I loved the ending. The ending is excellent. Another good slow burn too. You give me a nice wooded setting, that's a good start. It's definitely a good start. Okay, now let's get to some more familiar. Valentine is, if you're looking for just a good slasher revenge movie, Valentine's a good one. Richard Melton. You know, all these girls, they made fun of him. You know what? This proves my freaking point about bullies come in all shapes and sizes, okay? On Halloween Ends, all right? It doesn't always have to be jocks, okay? And girls can be fucking mean to each other, all right? A lot of you women who are in high school, you know what I'm talking about. Girls, tell me, when you were in high school, was there that one clique of girls and they were just horrible? Or were you part of that clique? I don't know. But yeah. Ooh, First Blood, Rosalia, good one. Yes, First Blood is also a great one. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe. And he did. That was on my my fuck around and find out list, actually. Yeah, they found out. But yeah, Erica, several cliques. Yeah, there's always that group that has, you know, that clique in high school, and they're just complete assholes, right? Complete assholes. So, but yeah, Valentine. Now, I've used this term before, obvious slasher. Valentine is what I call the obvious slasher. You know, the guy that you peg. Usually, the guy that you peg as the killer in any slasher movie is not the killer, right? They want you to think it's that guy. But then every now and then there's what's called the obvious slasher. And that guy that you think is the killer, he happens to be the killer. You know, it happens every now and then. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 of these movies that I can remember that are like the obvious slasher. Okay, I hope I'm not spoiling too much. I'm sure most of you have seen Valentine, but another one is Terror Train. You know, Terror Train, and what I mean by that too is like an obvious slasher is still set up like a whodunit, but for some reason the guy that they point that this could be the killer, this is probably the killer, that's the killer, right? But most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the time it's somebody else that's the killer. So, yeah. Or like in Scream's case, it's freaking 3 killers and it makes 0 goddamn sense whatsoever. But, you know, by the time you get to the 6th movie. So, yeah. Which drives me crazy because there are so many of these like Stu naysayers. Like, how dare you suggest that Stu could come back? And I know I'll say this for a second, okay? Because I've talked about Stu ad nauseum. But let's just say they're right, okay? Let's just say that it is completely preposterous to bring Stu back. After all the stupid bullshit that has gone on in this franchise for the past 6 movies, you're kind of questioning bringing, like, that's jumping the shark. I don't think so. I think they've jumped the shark a long time ago in Scream, all right? They're still fun movies, but let's be real, okay? It wouldn't be the biggest leap to have Stu come back, and it could be hella satisfying, actually, because I think we're getting tired of a brand new killer. And I'll give you another hot take about Scream, okay? And I can't take credit for this. Somebody brought this up in one of my comments recently. Guys, tell me right now, who do you think, now I'm not asking who your favorite Scream killer is, okay? I'm asking, who do you think was the most intelligent Scream killer? Had the best plan out of all the Scream killers? I'm gonna wait a second and see if anybody comes up with the answer that I think is the obvious answer. Who was who was the smartest? Who had like the best plan out of all the Scream killers? All right, I'll wait. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. All right, I'm seeing Billy, I'm seeing Jill, I'm seeing Billy, I'm seeing Wes Craven. Wes Craven wasn't the killer, though. Billy, Billy. Well, the answer's Jill, okay? The answer's Jill, and the reason being is because Jill really didn't have to do much of the killing at all in Scream 4. I think if you trace all the killings, like most of the killings, if not almost all the killings, were done by Charlie, right? She did a couple of the killings, but she came up with a plan in a way to where she didn't have to do that much killing, and she's the one that, like, she got away with it up until she finally got to the hospital, you know. Because the hospital scene, like, that's pretty much like an extra final act. Scream 4 is the only movie that has an extra final act because the killer got away with it, you know? Jill literally got away with it, but we had to add an extra final act so we could finally kill off Jill. That's the reason why Jill is actually probably the most intelligent killer of the bunch. You know? She's the brains, right? Now, not to take anything away from Billy. I think Billy was great, but Billy, it didn't work, right? He got killed by his girlfriend. So, yeah. Whose mother was a slut. Okay. Next one. And if you were here earlier in the stream, then you would know what that reference was to, okay? I'm going to wink at a few of you right now. Here, let me make it bigger so I can wink at you, okay? You know what I'm talking about. Can I wink? Did I have a weird wink, guys? Maybe. Like, I don't have like a seductive wink. It's like really weird. Like something's in my eye. That's weird. Man, I just learned something new about myself today. Rosalia knows what I'm talking about. She says, damn right. Okay. All right. Next one is The Burning. The Burning, we were talking about The Burning earlier. Really good revenge story. Surprised that we never had a sequel to The Burning, because I think it was the type of movie that you could have like two or three sequels to The Burning and we'd be just fine. It's got some of the best freaking slasher kills. The raft scene is, I think, probably one of the coolest kill sequences ever, and you get like 4 deaths like all at once. You know, that's what's cool about that scene. But yeah, Cropsy's the very definition of a sympathetic killer. But guys, here's my question. Okay, here's my question. Why those victims? Like they didn't burn Cropsy. So why did Cropsy come after those campers? They knew, like, this is the one slasher where the victims literally had nothing to do with the killer. They didn't deserve the deaths that they got, you know? Very weird. Very weird. I see you guys playing around in the comments. Yeah. D Squire, what's up, man? How are you doing? Yeah. Guys, let me ask you this, okay? I need you right now to rank these 4 camp slashers, all right? We got Bay of Blood. I'm going to only give you Friday. I'll say Friday. We'll say the first Friday, okay? Friday. I'm not saying I like the first Friday the best, but Bay of Blood, Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, or The Burning. All right, I need you to rank those for me right now, okay? I'm not going to rank it. I want the audience to rank it. This is an audience ranking, okay? I need an audience ranking right now, all right? Can you give me that? Yeah. Man, I love how clear my new camera. Look how clear that thing is. It's nice. I wonder how that'll look when I like download it, you know? Will it maintain this quality? Right? Yeah. I'm bullshitting while I'm waiting for you guys to answer my question. The Burning, Sleepaway Camp, Bay of Blood, Friday the 13th. That would not be my ranking, Nathan. But that is Nathan's ranking, and it is a respectable one. Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, The Burning, Bay of Blood. That is not my ranking. Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th, The Burning. Haven't seen Bay of Blood. Holy shit, Chris. Dude, you need to check out Bay of Blood, man. Matter of fact, Halloween 2 completely steals 3 kills from Bay of Blood, which came out in... When did Bay of Blood come out? Like 70s? Like early... Or late... It's late 60s or early 70s, and I think it's the first camp slasher movie ever. But the shish kebab kill through the back, you know, the couple having sex and it goes through both of them to the bed. They literally show it in Bay of Blood. It's much better than the Friday Part 2 version. Okay, much better. There is a wheelchair kill in Bay of Blood, funny enough. And then there's also a machete to the head in Bay of Blood. That's 3 kills. All right? You got to see it. 71. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah. Everybody tell Chris he needs to watch Bay of Blood, like, immediately. Okay? It's so good. It's really good. Love it. And it's got one of the craziest, freaking weirdest endings ever. Just like, in true Giallo fashion, right? Like Pieces, right? Of course, no ending could ever match the awesomeness of Pieces. All right, Pieces right now, guys. Okay, the best slasher ending in horror history is Pieces. Or am I wrong on that, guys? It would have to be either. Ooh, this is a good countdown, actually. It would have to be Pieces, Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp might be the number 1, but Pieces is like right there. Like here's Sleepaway Camp. Here's Pieces. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Revenge was... Chris, please tell me you've seen Pieces, all right? Please tell me you've seen Pieces. I don't need that in my life. All right? If you haven't seen Pieces, Whoo, man. Please, please tell me you've seen Pieces. Oh my God. Pieces is amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Bastard! Oh God. Pieces might be my all-time favorite movie. I think it's over Halloween. I think Pieces is my favorite. I love it. I love it for all the wrong reasons. It's the greatest thing ever. Ever. Okay? It's wonderful. That's what it is. That should be the little critic tagline across the poster. Wonderful. That's what it is. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Next one. Here's a revenge movie you never thought about. Look at that, guys. The Fog. The Fog is, in fact, a revenge movie. Okay? It's another one of those situations, though, where the victims, they're like, what the fuck did I do? I don't even know anything about this happened 100 years ago, and now I got to pay for it, you know? Why do I got to pay for the sins of my ancestors, right? Yeah. And I wanted to add a little, I didn't want to put all slashers on here, right? I wanted to give you a little bit of variety, a good old ghost story. And, I got to give Deborah Hill and John Carpenter credit for coming up with this idea. A good old ghost story, which isn't there's a bit of like truth to this story? Like if you look in history, I think Carpenter said it is based off of like an actual incident that did happen, But obviously they didn't come back 100 years later as ghosts, okay? But yeah, man, so much great atmosphere in The Fog. The remake doesn't exist. That is a steaming pile of ghost shit. That's what the remake of The Fog is. It is one of the worst remakes ever made. Right, Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast? It's really, really fucking horrible. Matter of fact, I think all horror fans, they all never agree on any movie except for the Fog remake. Right, guys? Every one of you guys right now, you hate the Fog remake. Am I right about that, guys? Am I right about that? Like, I'm trying to find a stream where I can get everybody in the chat to finally agree on at least one thing, because we didn't agree on about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original versus the remake. But clearly this is a thing that we can all agree upon, is that the Fog remake is the biggest steaming pile of shit ever created. All right, guys? Yeah, there we go. Betamax, I don't know. What are you saying there? You just saying the name. Okay. Poltergeist remake, yeah, it is awful. Actually, you know what, Jason? I've never seen the Poltergeist remake. But I did go opening night to see the Fog remake. And the only reason I did that was because it was Deborah Hill's last movie. I went for her. But the movie itself, she couldn't save it. Okay? Erica says, I think we can all agree Halloween Resurrection is awful. I do know some people that like Halloween Resurrection, though, Erica. I do know some people. Okay? Yeah. Lee, you don't need to see the Poltergeist remake. Save your time. Yeah, I have no plans to ever see the Poltergeist remake. Okay? Ooh, Class of 1984. Yes. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick, Death Rattle. Yeah. 1984 with a very young Michael J. Fox. Are you talking about Class of 1984? Yeah, Class of 1984. Yeah. Very young Michael J. Fox. Yeah. Terror Train is a revenge. I think a lot of slashers are revenge movies. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, you knew this one was going to be on there. It's on the thumbnail, right? The Crow. And this is the one instance where it's like a graphic novel, superhero type deal. But yeah, man, I've talked about The Crow so much. I guess talking about the revenge aspect of it, it is another one of those movies where, Shelley Webster, both of them are killed, but Shelley is violated, right? And then, can you imagine that? Like, you got to watch your fiance, be violated, and then you're both killed, like you're waiting on your death. So then he comes back a year later to avenge her death. Man, what a movie. What a freaking movie The Crow is. My number 2 all-time favorite movie, realistically, it's number 1. Like, I put a tie. Halloween and The Crow are tied. I can't tell you which one's better. They're both very different. They're both equally important to me. And I can just mapping it back to when I first saw The Crow in the theater opening night. This was the movie that, how you get ramped up to them, kind of like how we all were to Halloween 2018. We were following it day, week, and we just wanted to see the movie. Well, that's how it was for me with The Crow. After Brandon Lee's death, I was always like, man, are they ever going to make this movie? Are they going to shelve it? And then, you heard that they're still going to make the movie. They're going to, he only had 2 weeks left. So I was counting the days until this movie came out. And I thought, there's no way this movie's going to live up to the hype that I have in my mind for it. And when I came out of the theater, I'm like, I've never seen a movie like that. That was amazing. And still to this day, there's no movie like The First Crow. I think it encapsulated something that was as close to perfection as you can possibly get. And I hate to use that word when talking about movies, but that's my opinion on The Crow, And I have this horrible thought in my head sometimes about the movie, like, if Brandon Lee didn't die, and believe me, I think about all the time, God, his career would have been amazing if he didn't die. Did that add something to the movie, his death, because he had 2 weeks left, so they had to rearrange some things. Yeah, they had to have a stunt double come in, obviously. But also they had to rearrange. They even took some stuff out, like the Skull Cowboy. So we'll never know what that movie would have been if Brandon Lee had lived, And hell, maybe his own influence would have been. Some actors, they get a say in what's going to happen with the movie. Who knows? Maybe Brandon would have been very passionate about a certain cut of the movie. So you can rack your brain going over this stuff in your head. Is the only good thing we got out of Brandon Lee passing away was that we got a cut of the movie that we might not have ever gotten. And, God, I wish to God he didn't die, He's still that one death, as silly as it is to say, Brandon is still that one death that just hits me. It still hits me, I don't know. Certain roles, it's not just Brandon Lee, but it's that role too, The Crow. Those two things together. It's just really sad that he passed away during the movie. So yeah. But yeah, The Crow. We got two more real quick. Now speaking of The Crow, Revenge. This movie Revenge, guys. Have any of you not seen the movie Revenge? Have any of you, please tell me right now, have any of you not seen the movie Revenge? And yes, Vector, Heath Ledger hit me too. That was a tough one. But this movie, Erica, holy shit. And Erica, I'm not blaming you because this isn't like freaking Terminator or something like that where everybody should have seen it. This is one of the most slept on movies I can, if anybody said, Lee, what's an underrated movie that you would recommend immediately? Boom, right there, Revenge. Wow, what a freaking movie. This movie, I'm shocked it's not talked about more. It's probably one of the best revenge movies I've seen in a long time because this young girl, she happens to be dating the biggest scumbag on the planet, and he takes her to this, I think they're in Spain, somewhere like that, on this little vacation. And then, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say really bad things happen. And then she comes back for revenge. And it's one of those scenarios where it's like the most unlikely person getting revenge and just completely kicking ass. That's what I loved about Revenge. It's bloody as hell too, guys. Bloody as hell. That's one thing I love about it. Also, I gotta mention this, okay? And I brought this up on Twitter. to me, I've always looked at Revenge as an unofficial Crow movie. Okay? And I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying the directors said, hey, this is an unofficial Crow movie. Although I'm sure they probably had the Crow on their mind when they made this movie. Just because of the way things happen in this movie. There's even a bird in the movie. It's a phoenix. But it's literally branded on her stomach. And it looks like a freaking crow on her stomach. Okay? The whole setup of the movie is exactly like The Crow. So if you want a female Crow movie, this is your movie right here. And if this were like an official Crow movie, this would easily be the second best movie of the franchise. Easily. It's like, it was one of my favorite movies of that year, I think. Okay? Yeah, this would be a good movie night, Chris, for sure. Man, Erica, you got to watch this movie. Revenge. It's so good. So good. Okay? I'm giving you a guarantee right now, people. I'm giving you a guarantee. Okay? Yeah. Wow. And I purposefully left a few things out because I'm sure there's a few of you that haven't seen this movie. All right? You got to see it. It's so good. So good. All right. All right, Erica. You got to watch it tonight. Let us know what you think for sure. Yeah. And I think check Shudder. I saw it on Shudder when it came out. I think it was on Shudder, but it might be on two. You know what? Since you said you're going to watch it, I'm going to tell you where you can see it, maybe for free. Hold on. Let me see. Justwatch.com, guys. If you ever want to know where you can find anything for free, if it's available, then justwatch.com. Okay. Revenge. Yeah, here it is. 2017. It's on Shudder. Yes, it is on Shudder. You can also watch it on the Roku channel. So, yeah, there you go. Matter of fact, you know what? I remember it being on Shudder. I just browsed through Shudder the other day and I saw Revenge on there. They have a whole revenge section, revenge movies, and it's on there. So there you go. Okay. Last one. Yeah, here we go. If you're looking for something a little artsy in your life, Mandy, you got Nicolas Cage turning in a really great performance. Visually intoxicating, this movie is. It's heavy. It definitely has like a psychedelic feel to it, but the score to this movie is so it's heavy. It's excellent. Johan Johansson, he passed away before this movie came out. So this was his last score that he composed. And man, it's a really, really great score. Very emotional. Just heavy. That's the best word for it. But yeah, it's not for everybody. I'll say that right now because I see Chris saying I really wanted to like Mandy more than I did. I happen to love the movie, but it's one of those movies that I can totally understand somebody not liking it because it does require patience, you know? I would say you can kind of compare it to like Nicholas Winding Refn, like the movie Only God Forgives. Now that movie was even hard for me to get into. Only God Forgives. It's just way too freaking slow moving and art. Hold on. What did I do? My freaking camera. Hold on. I'm gonna have to get one of those double-sided tape deals. There we go. Yeah. So yeah. But I think Mandy's, it's definitely faster moving than Only God Forgives, but I just think visually those two movies look kind of similar. Yes, Chris. So, yeah. What the hell? Okay. So, yeah, Mandy. Really good revenge movie, though. Really good. I happen to love Mandy. All right. So, Yep, that's our 10. Hey guys, I'm thinking about painting my wall back there. I'm getting tired of the white. What color do you think I should paint it? Okay. Now I was thinking I might go orange, like a pumpkin type color. Because my last setup that I had in my last house was blue, and I kind of don't want to repeat myself. Unless you guys just really are dead set on blue. It's either orange or every horror fan is like either orange or blue, and there's no other alternatives, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to do, guys. I need your help, okay? And red's just a little bit too strong for me. Like red sounds like a cool idea, but it would have to be like a light red. Caribbean green. Let me think about that. Would green look good back there? I don't know. I like green, but here's the thing too, guys. I got that red LED light back there. So it's going to be, and that's another reason why I can't use blue. Although I can change the color of the LED. Maybe I'll change the color, but I don't know. We'll see. I got to figure it out. But I don't think I want to go blue again. Maybe if I did go blue, maybe I'd go like a lighter blue. You know, nothing too strong. But I think anything's going to be better than white at this point. I need some color back there. I might even do that on Sunday. Okay. Something bright to contrast with your posters. That's a good idea, actually, Rosalia. Yeah, you know what? My posters will definitely pop more. Don't you think? Maybe the orange is the way to go. Yeah, and orange does make me think of Halloween, Deverick, for sure. Maybe I will go orange. And I think orange is pleasing to have the red bounce off of it. Or I could even change the LED to like orange, right? Like I could do that right now if I wanted to. Let me see. Let me change this to orange and see what happens. That didn't work. Damn it. See, here's the problem. I got like 4 of these freaking remotes around here, and I don't know which one's which. Let me try this one. Hold on. Let me try this one. Nope. I don't know. Fuck it. Oh, hold on. I think I found it. Nope. God damn it. Oh well, guys. I'll figure it out. Damn it. Burnt orange. That might be nice. Yeah, maybe I'll go with that. Yeah. Michael Myers is my boy. Okay. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that'll do the live stream tonight. Everybody, thank you for joining in and always giving me something to talk about. This was really fun. And green does look nice though, doesn't it? Like I'm looking at that like proper frame right there, and he's got that green heart, and I like that color green. Maybe that is the color green I should. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. Damn it, I can't decide now. Shit. Oh man, Jacob, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Blu-ray addict. Yeah. Anyway, guys, take care of each other. Love you guys to death. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Okay. Erica, Revenge. Check it out. Okay. She's sticking